Welcome to Lakers Talk with Gerald, episode 191. We are fresh off of getting our bleeps. We are fresh off of getting our butts whooped, beat down by the Philadelphia 76ers by 44 points is what we lost by. 138 to 94. Yeah, just crazy, right? That was a very hard game to watch. Watching that game, because we just basically defense was just non-existent in this game. I sat and watched this game in the first quarter or the first half while the 76ers just hit three after three after three. And we were playing a combination of zones and things like that where we kept trying to double team Joel Embiid. As soon as Joel Embiid would get the ball kind of in the post or a little bit outside the key, the player from the top of the key, whether it was Tayshaun Prince or with D'Angelo Russell, would sag off of their man from the three-point line to come over to Joel Embiid to help double team with AD. And then Joel Embiid would just kick it back to whoever that player was, Tyrese Maxey or one of their other players, and they would just get pretty much open jump shots. You know, they would have a jump shot and the player would have to run to them like 3-4 feet away to try to contest their shots. And they were hitting shot after shot after shot. And for some reason, we didn't go away from that plan. We kept sagging off of those people and would be trying to crowd Joel Embiid. Well, you know, their team just kept like, okay, you're going to keep giving us these shots. We're going to hit them. You know, and it was just very hard to watch. I mean, we kept betting on them just kind of like, it's like the coaching and the thought process was like, oh, they're going to eventually stop hitting all these shots. Well, not really. It was just a disaster. I mean, AD couldn't do nothing with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid would drive to the basket. He would kind of flail his arms up and he would get that foul call every time. I mean, he has an art of attracting fouls and flopping and throwing his arms up and just getting that call every time. Like, he's one of the leading people in free throw attempts every single year because of however method that he does. And it seems to work every time. And he was even getting AD in foul trouble during this game. It was kind of sad to see. So Embiid ended up having 30 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, got a triple-double just because, you know, they've been playing this new style of play where they just kind of like playing them like they do with the Nuggets like the Nuggets do with Jokic. You know, he kind of handles and kind of everything runs through him because he gets so much in Joel Embiid's case, he gets so many double teams. Like Jokic don't necessarily get double teams, but he's just so good at running the floor and seeing everything on the floor. And, it was just a sloppy game. It was a horrible game. Defensive-wise, we got to figure out our schemes a lot better on defense. And also that, on top of that, in the first half, they hit 13 three-pointers while we only hit 2. We were 2 out of 9. So that's another thing. We got to be able to hit our threes while also defending their threes. So, and then the other part that we struggle with during this season, and it's been glaring, it's been known, it's, like I mentioned, guarding the three-point line. The second thing is offensive rebounds. The other team gets a lot of second chance points. When we do play decent defense and stop them from scoring, the other team tips the ball or somehow they always like out hustle us to get these rebounds. And they end up that second time around, more than likely they score. So that's the other part about like being able to stop a team from scoring. Defense, if you stop them one time, you got to then fight for those rebounds, box out, get good positioning, scheme. Let's say one game we don't do it well. And it happens a couple games in a row, multiple times. We got to be able to watch this film, figure out team, scout. Like, okay, what is it that they're preying on our weaknesses? What are they doing How do we need to, box out the other guys when, instead of ball watching, a lot of times that's what's happening. Like guys are kind of ball watching and is not paying attention to the other offensive player, like kind of wedging their way in, finding their way to get close to the basket, get good rebounding position. And it's happened a lot. It really has. So in this game, LeBron James ended up leading all scorers on the Lakers, that is, with 18 points. He had 5 assists, no rebounds. Wow. I have not seen a game where LeBron hasn't had a rebound. So, damn, that streak, he had a long streak. I don't know how long that streak is, but it's been probably several years. So that's crazy. He only played 30 minutes. I think Darvin Ham, we were just getting beat so much in the fourth quarter, sometime with about 8 minutes or left or something like that in the fourth quarter. He, took everybody out and just put the bench in and called it, waved the white flag, so to say. And so they weren't up by 40 or so when that happened. They probably were up by 20 something. And then we took our starters out. We put all the bench in, all these rookies, all these guys that don't get to play very much. And the 76ers left their starters in. They left their players in, and those people were just balling and taking advantage and scoring. And our rookies and bench and all those guys that don't play, they really aren't ready for NBA-wise games. This is like they really should be in a G League. That's really what it was like. It was like from that point on, it was like an NBA team that's really good playing a G League team from, probably the second half of the fourth quarter, and then they just ran up the score. For some reason, they just love trying to pummel the Lakers so in the media the next day they can see this crazy lopsided score. So that's what happened. So Anthony Davis had 17 points, 11 rebounds. I think he only had 1 block, 1 steal in this game. So people are going to get on AD because, he didn't match up well with Embiid. It's just that before we were comparing them, saying, AD, Embiid, Jokic, those guys were on the same level. Now people are like, well, AD is still a defensive dog. He's still a good offensive player. He's still a really great player. But it's hard for him to guard guys like Joel Embiid. So I saw him after the game talking to Joel Embiid, and the size difference is really noticeable. I didn't realize that Joel Embiid is that much bigger than Anthony Davis. And he is. He's 7'1" or so, and Davis is 6'10". And Joel Embiid is definitely heavier than Anthony Davis. You can see that. It stands out, pronounced when they're right up next to each other. And, you can see how, Joel Embiid won't be intimidated. He can, score certain ways. And you can see why, basically, they double-team him because we don't have anybody that massive on the Lakers. So that definitely is an interesting thing. So let's go over the rest of the stats. Tayshaun Prince started, had 11 points, 4 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell had 12.7 assists. He ended up, he was 1 for 2 from three-point range, so he only shot 2 3-pointers. Tayshaun Prince ended up shooting 6. He made 3, so that was good. LeBron James was 1 for 1 from three-point range. Max Christie started also. He was 0 for 3, did not make 1 3-pointer. He had 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Off the bench, like Reeves played 29 minutes. He had 12 points also. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, no steals, no blocks. He had 1 for 4 from three-point range. And then Christian Wood played 22 minutes, 3 for 9 from the field. He was 0 for 5 from three-point range. So, man, just bad. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 points. Pretty much everybody on the Lakers had negative, plus minus in this game. Jackson Hayes played 19 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field. 0 for 2. I don't know why he shot 2 3-pointers, but he was 0 for 2 for three-point range. He had 7 points. Overall, the Lakers were only 25% from three-point range. 7 out of 28. That will not get it done at all. So three-point shooting, guy has to get better, and guarding the three-point line for the other team has to get better, and offensive rebounds, second chance points, those things have to get better. I definitely believe we need a bigger backup center. I always believe that. I always believe we need one of those guys, back in our championship year Dwight Howard was that guy he can bruise and fight with that big center. Now we don't have somebody that can sacrifice and be tough like that, and that's strong. So I'm looking forward to, hopefully at some time this year we can find a player like that to help supplement our team. So what we have to look forward, we're still 10-8. We're 8th place in the Western Conference. So, we still are in the hunt. We're still doing all right, and we're still missing a bunch of guys. Vanderbilt, we're missing Gabe Vincent. We're missing Rui Hachimura. And the other year we also, Cam Rich was out. So we're missing a bunch of guys that can really help with our team, and it's going to change the way we play. So what's up next for us? We have the Pistons, who are 2-15. It's in Detroit. Hopefully we should be able to get that win because they're a bad team, but every team plays well against the Lakers. So look forward to that. Everybody, that's going to do it. Lakers Talk with Gerald, episode 191. I'm out.